That is unbelievable. Look at this bad boy. Hello guys! Today we're making a floating jig, and the main ingredients for it will be this foam slippers. The jig will be made out of two hooks, a smaller hook at the back and a bigger hook at the front. When I saw these slippers in the shop, guys, and why I bought them is because they have a darker color on the top, and then in the middle they have this yellow line, which will give us a nice contrast when the lure will be made, and it's really going to provoke the fish. Why I have chosen a slipper, guys, is because when the foam slippers are made, the density of them is just right. To make the cylinders out of foam, what we're going to use is this little plumbing appliance. It is used to join pipes. I bought it in a DIY store. And then also this, originally it was sold as for carp fishermen to make little pallets from bread, little circles. I have sharpened them inside with the file, all the way around, and then all the way around outside. And the diameter of this one is slightly smaller than the diameter of this one. So this cylinder will be used for the back hook, and then with this one I'll cut out the parts for the front hook and the body. Okay guys, the hook I have in the vise, it's Owner size 4. The thread that we're going to use is black and 6/0, and we are going to use our newly made bobbing. Because I have a skinny tube at the front, it'll be really easy for us to work towards the back of the hook. Because let's say if we would use our old bobbing, this wire piece that's on the way, it's going to be bumping everything, and then it's going to get stuck on the barbs of the hook. And then we're going to make the tail out of marble and some flash. We're going to rip the fibers about a toothpick thickness. And guys, a treble hook, it have 3 sides. We're going to tie a clump of marble on each side. Once we're halfway, we're going to cut the marble. We're going to make sure that there's nothing is sticking out past the hook eye. Yep, so I would want about 1.5 times hook size. Don't cut the marble, guys, because then it's going to look terrible. Just moisten it, and then you can break it off with your fingers. I got 2 kinds of flash, 2 strands of each, so I have 4. I'm going to double them over, and then I'm going to cut them in the middle, and then we're going to put them into the eye of the hook. Here we go. Tie it down with 2 turns, then spread it around. And then we will tie it down. Cut the flash, and then tie it down fully. Here we go, guys. That's the tail for our floating jig. Now it's time to cut a little cylinder. Now we need to poke a hole in the middle. We will find the center, push our bodkin halfway. We're not going to push it all the way through, because that way I'm not sure where the bodkin will come out. And then from the other side, we'll poke a hole. The two holes will meet in the middle, and if it's not going to be straight, it won't matter, because on the other side it'll come out in that hole that we made. You see it, guys? Came out right there. Let's widen the hole with our round file squeezed into a drill. Now, guys, I don't know if you can see, there's this bit sticking out because of the sole of the slippers. I want to cut them away. And then here, guys, on the edges, taper it a little bit. Okay, let's try to fit it on the hook and see how it's sitting. Went on pretty nice and snug. So now we just have to glue it in. I'm not going to apply it all the way on the shank. I'm just going to apply it half the way, because then when we're pushing our little foam cylinder onto the hook, it's going to spread it. Let me show you. The main thing here is not to stop. Let's go. We can maybe add a tiny little bit drop of glue here at the front. We're going to leave it hanging in this position. If we leave it like this, put it down, then the glue is going to drip more to this side. But if we're going to leave it hanging like this, it will go around the hook uniformly and smoother. While our tail is drying, we are going to cut our body part with this bigger tube. The pieces for the body are made. We're going to glue them together like this. But now the problem is this part is flat. This part have ridges. Now we need to cut this off to make this part flat as well, so it will glue together better. The glue is dry. Now it's time to poke a hole through the middle. So we are gonna go halfway, then turn it around and poke the rest of the way. Here we go, guys. Straight in the center. this end that we trimmed gonna go towards the back hook. So now the middle part is ready. We just have to attach it with some wire to the back hook. I'm gonna use this wire, 0.6 mil in diameter. It's in a coil. I have cut about 12 centimeters of it. I'm gonna make a bend, and then we're going to make the loop. Now we're gonna close the loop just a little bit. And then close it completely. Three turns or so. That loop didn't come out the prettiest, but hey, Pike is not going to care. And now we're left with a little tag end, which is going to squeeze it down. Here we go, guys. Now the tag end is flush with the turns. Because this wire was in a coil, it's not straight. Now I have to straighten it. Here we go, it's mostly straight. Let's measure how long our middle part is. It is 3.15. So from that, I'm gonna add 3 mil extra. 3.5. Here we go. I'm gonna measure this distance from the last turn to the round nose pliers. Let's see if this will fit on it properly. Really good, guys, quite a snug fit. So now, guys, we need to glue this to this, but the problem is this is all wire, it's very slippery. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna wind a bit of thread in this empty spot here, so then the glue will have something to grab onto. The thread that I'm going to use, it's just your normal sewing thread. The reason is because it's thicker, and I'd be able to build up layers here quicker. We're going to put down touching turns. So now we're going to take a few turns back and then go into the whip finish. Okay, guys, that is done. Now we can start gluing it. I'm happy with that. Let's just apply a little bit here at the back. And a little bit more at the front. While our middle part of a floating jig is drying, we got our front hook, and we're gonna cut out the cylinders for it. If I just glue them together and then try to put it on this hook, these foam cylinders are way too long. So I'm gonna have to cut them on both sides and then glue them together. That is glued, guys. Now we just have to wait for it to dry. I'm just trying to magnetize the hook, guys, so it attracts pike better. Joke. The hook I have in the vise, guys, it's owner size 2. We are going to use black thread in 6/0. Let's put down a layer of thread. Now to attach our body and the tail, we are going to use this leader material. It's multiple strands in plastic coating. It's quite heavy, about 25-30 pounds. So we're going to put it in like this and then stretch it and then give it a kink. Like so. Here we go. These are 6mm beads. We're going to catch it down with a few turns. That way we can position it the way we want it. Stick it into the eye. And now we're going to secure it down with touching turns. We're going to bend it back and then tie over it, creating a strong connection. Let's snip it. And then a whip finish. Let's put a mark where to cut it. Here we go. There are the 2 marks. Let's check it now and see. That seems okay. Here we go, guys. Let's see if it will fit and if it's going to be a snug fit. All we have to do now is glue it in. And the main thing here, push it while turning and don't stop. Here we go, let me see. That's okay. Yep, that's as far as we want it. And then a little bit here at the front. Okay guys, the glue is dry and the lure is finished. It didn't come out perfect by any means. It got a little bit of glue running onto the marble feathers at the back. There is some white patches of glue here. Once it's in the water and it's moving at the jigging pace, pike is not going to care. These are the 2 split rings, guys, that I have attached together. They are 10 mil in diameter, quite big and strong. Together with the weight, it's pushing 16.5 centimeters. And why am I measuring it together with the weight? Because when I'm fishing it, the fish gonna see all of this as one lure. Why a floating jig? Why two trebles? Why a heavy jig weight? I have two trebles there for better hookups. Sometime when you're jigging and the fish is not active, it might nibble at the back of the lure, and that's where the treble is, so you're going to get more positive hookups. It will snag just like any other lure, but the snags won't be more, as this lure will be popped up off the bottom as it is made out of floating material. And it being floating means that we can use a heavier jig weight to fish it. As because it's floating, it's going to counteract this weight pulling down. Also guys, because this lure is quite unusual in the way that it's going to move and behave in the water, in its color and in its floating ability, the fish will be curious about it, so there's a better chance of getting a bite. And the reason for the two split rings, guys, is when I'm going to cast it, the weight is going to fold up like this, causing the lure to fly further. And then once it's in the water and it have sunken to the bottom, you have way more range of movement. When you move your weight, first it's going to be split rings that are moving, then the front part, then the body, and then the tail. Let's see how the lure moves in the water. Because of the joints in the lure and the two split rings, every time I move it, it just moves in every way. So guys, basically pike doesn't like retrieve when the lure lifts up too high off the bottom and then falls. Not vertical, but what pike likes is something horizontal along the bottom, so this way. And the floating lure and the heavy jig weight, they're going to help us to achieve it. There you go guys, I made 6. Some of them turn out better than the others. Pike is not going to care. They're just going to see something moving in the water in the right way. It has two trebles, and even if they tap it or sniff at it, they're going to get hooked. So let's put them in the box and let's take them out fishing. That's a fish, guys. That's a fish. Not a big one, but a fish all the same. A small pike. He's going crazy. Look guys, small one. Oh, let's get the hooks out. There he goes. This is makeshift lures, and I improved this jig. Let's see, what is it? Is it a pike, I wonder? It is. That's unbelievable, you guys. That is unbelievable. It's not a bad size as well. Wait, buddy, wait. That's unbelievable, you guys. That's a good pike. "84 centimeters, should be around 3.5, 4 kilos. Look at this bad boy on a jig. Let's get you home. That's rewarding, guys. Look at this bad boy. That is unbelievable.